We're tired, and we're frustrated, and we're sad, and we're angry. And we just want to find this guy. We just want to close this chapter.
2 months ago, the case was still unsolved, but now a new direction. It isn't an arrest, but we're told it is a major announcement, and police hope it will lead to a break in the murder of the Delphi daughters. Good afternoon, I'm Meredith Barrick. We aren't sure exactly what today's news is going to be, but late last week, Indiana State Police announced that the case of the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German was going in a new direction. We are expecting police to release new information any moment now in Delphi, and that's where our Rafael Sanchez is live just ahead of a police news conference. Good afternoon, Rafael.
Meredith, good afternoon. We are expecting this news conference to begin in about 2 minutes or so. We are in a packed room. Members of the media here, also members of the public are here. We're expecting the biggest development since this case unfolded back in February of 2017. Call 6 Investigates has received new information at close to the hour now. We can now release Paris Lavelle. Call 6 Investigates, you are here. What are you hearing about what we will hear in a matter of moments?
We're just hearing about some new evidence that is going to be released here in this case. The first piece of evidence is going to be a short video clip that was recorded on Libby German's cell phone. We've already seen the still pictures from that and that audio clip already that says down the hill. But we are expected to see a little bit of video. We also are being told that we will hear a bit of audio. They're releasing a little bit more audio than they previously released here, as well as another sketch of the suspect. So all that is expected to be released here as soon as this press conference begins in the next few minutes.
The one question we've been asking, why now? This case, we just marked the 2-year milestone of this investigation. Are you getting any sense from your sources as to why all of this information is being released on this day, just one day after Easter?
They've had this information for quite a while. That's the investigators, but they have been putting a lot of the stuff together over the time, and they have picked this time as a time that they want more information out there to the public. As you know, they've kept a lot of information close to the vest to protect the investigation, to make sure that the quality of tips that come in is good, but they really, at this point, say this is the next step they need to take in the investigation.
So again, Meredith, we have breaking news for you. Of course, we're expecting some major developments to be made today. You just heard from my colleague, Paris Lavelle, the release of new evidence, including audio and video from the cell phone images that Libby German took. Let's now go live to live pictures here in Delphi.
Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI, the Indiana State Police, and countless other agencies. This community surrounded us some 26 months ago, and you did everything you could to support us, but most importantly, you surrounded the family of these 2 little girls. Gosh, I'll never forget it. After you hear what we're going to release today, I'm going to ask for your continued support, your continued understanding, your empathy and compassion as we move forward to find out who did this, and we will. We're seeking the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked at the old CPS DCS welfare building in the city of Delphi that was abandoned on the east side of County Road 300 North next to the Hoosier Heartland Highway between the hours of noon to 5 on February 14th, 2017. If you were parked there or know who was parked there, please contact the officers at the command post at the Delphi City building. We are releasing additional portions of the audio recording from that day. Please keep in mind, the person talking is one person and is the person on the bridge with the girls. This is not 2 different people speaking. Please listen to it very, very carefully. We are also releasing video recovered from Libby's phone. This video has never before been previously released. The video shows a suspect walking on the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk. Watch the mannerisms as he walks. Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone that you might know? Remember, he is walking on the former railroad bridge. Because of the deteriorated condition of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally due to the spacing between the ties. During the course of this investigation, we have concluded the first sketch released will become secondary as of today. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch, which you will see shortly, is the person responsible for the murders of these two little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is currently between the age range of 18 and 40, but might appear younger than his true age. Directly to the killer, who may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight. For more than 2 years, you never thought we would shift gears to a different investigative strategy, but we have. We likely have interviewed you or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. And one day, you will. A question to you. What will those closest to you think of when they find out that you brutally murdered two little girls? 2 children. Only a coward would do such a thing. We are confident that you have told someone what you have done. Or at the very least, they know because of how different you are since the murders. We try so hard to understand how a person could do something like this to two children. I recently watched a movie called The Shack. And there's also a book that talks so well about evil, about death, and about eternity. To the murderer, I believe you have just a little bit of a conscience left. And I can assure you that how you left them in that woods is not what they're experiencing today. To the family, I hope that you all will give them some time, because we're going to be asking that there's no media inquiry or no media response for at least the next 2 weeks, and I hope you understand why. The family found out about this information this morning. I just want the family to know that when I take my last breath on this earth, I'll be thinking of them. There's going to be a tremendous amount of questions. I know that. Never in my career have I stood in front of something like this. Please be patient with us, please. We're just beginning. We are just now beginning. And I can tell you on behalf of the sheriff and the police chief, so many other partners that have stood with us over this period of time, that we will not stop.
You just heard from Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter there, addressing not only the media, but many of the public in Delphi. This is the new sketch they are revealing. They believe this is the man who killed Abby Williams and Libby German on the Monon High Bridge in February of 2017. We are going to take a listen now. Another representative from Indiana State Police is speaking. Let's take a listen.
A video not previously released that superintendent spoke to, and also the audio that's additional to what's been previously released. It's only a slight change in it. So give Sergeant Riley just a second as he gets that up and ready. Stand by for the video, please. There is no sound of the video. As Superintendent Carter mentioned, he is on the railway bridge. You have to take different steps to get to it. This information later this afternoon will be on the State Police website. For the community that's here, we have 100 copies of the news release. If you put in that URL, you'll be able to get to that site to play it. And we also have that same release for you in the media. And the rest of the state will get that release in about 15 minutes. So we appreciate those of you that came here. This concludes our announcement. Thank you for your time, patience, and courtesy.
All right, once again, we just heard from Indiana State Police releasing new information on the Delphi murders. Take a good look at this man. Do you recognize him? Police believe he is between the ages of 18 and 40 years old and was someone who currently lives in Delphi or has lived there in the past. They are also looking into a car that was parked in Delphi between the hours of noon and 5 on February 14th, 2017. They are asking the public to call in any tips they believe could help them solve this case. Once again, you are looking at a brand new sketch that Indiana State Police have just released in the Delphi murders. We also just heard new audio that has never been heard by the public before, and we also viewed a new video. We will make sure to have that new sketch and that new audio and video up on the RTV6 app, the Facebook page, and our website as soon as we can. They are encouraging the public to share all this information. They also are encouraging the public to take a close look at this video. That man's posture and mannerisms may be a little different because he is walking along the Monon High Bridge. Now, I want to get back to Rafael Sanchez, who is there at that press conference. Rafael, what is the general mood there right now after all this new information?
Well, I can first tell you that the family that was briefed on all this information about a half an hour before we heard it, they were just in tears. Obviously, they have been emotional for the past 2 years, and so they will not be responding to any of this new information for the next 2 weeks, as you heard from State Police Superintendent Doug Carter. But Meredith, as you just pointed out, this is really the biggest developments we have heard on this case since the girls' bodies were found back on February the 14th, Valentine's Day of 2017. We know it's a lot of information. Ma'am, could you join me for a second? The townspeople were invited here to be shown the new sketch. This sketch will now be considered the primary sketch. The other sketch that we've been showing since 2017 is now the secondary sketch. You'll also see some new video of that was taken by Libby German on February the 13th. She because of her, we have all of this information. She's been considered the hero because the suspect was never aware that she was actually videotaping the suspect. So because of her, we were able to get all this information. And so, ma'am, I don't know your name.
Rebecca.
Rebecca, you're from Delphi.
Yes.
And just, you wanted to be here today. We're on live television today. We've been talking about this now for 2 years. I don't live in Delphi, but I feel like I live in Delphi by the extension that I know the families, and I've been covering the story since day one. Just your thoughts today, ma'am, as you heard all of this flood of information, the vehicle, the new sketch, the video, the audio. What are you thinking right now?
I wish that's information we had on day one, or certainly by the first year of the investigation. Why did this take so long? That's why I'm asking. That's my question.
Right.
Why did it take so long?
And things do take a while, and law enforcement not taking any questions. But now that everyone has the information, what are you going to do with it? Because there was a call to action today by the state police superintendent asking for all of you, all of us, to do something with it. What are you going to do with it?
Oh, hang flyers, Facebook, anything I can do in order to, anything I can do to identify that guy. He needs caught. 2.5 years.
What has it meant for the folks that live here? Because I've heard a number of stories. Some people have changed their attitude. Some people have become more suspicious of each other. Every time they stop at the stop sign and they see someone in a truck or a strange guy, they wonder, is that the guy? Have you changed how you've acted in the last 2 years because of all of this?
Yeah, I feel like, I'm raising my kid in a small community, and our safety net was taken away that day. So everywhere I go now, you're looking at friends and neighbors and wondering, is that the person, And I would have never done that before. I would have greeted people with a handshake and a smile, and that's not how it is now.
But it still has that small town feel, though. I mean, Delphi has still, 2 years later, have you sensed that you've been able to sort of overcome that, or do you still people are afraid?
I think we're afraid to a certain extent, but I feel like we've come together. We're all on this mission that we won't let this case go until it's solved.
Rebecca, thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. I'm going to give you back your poster because you need to hang that up somewhere at your church or by the post office and share that with people on Facebook. Right? Make sure you share that with people, let them know what's going on. Rebecca, thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. So that's what's going to happen now. Meredith, this is now becomes an entire public event. State police will not be making any statements about what we heard for the next 2 weeks. The families, both for Abby and Libby, will not be speaking to media as well. I did have a chance to speak with them. They were very respectful and said, we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, and we're going to respect that space. And that conversation was had before I even knew that they couldn't talk to me. But we'll give them that space so that we can now all focus on all this new material. And I believe we have the video. Producers back in Indianapolis help me and guide me through this. I'd like to show you again the new sketch of the individual that is now, of course, the prime suspect, has always been the prime suspect in this case. We're to take this sketch as the primary sketch. This is the man that police are telling us encountered both Abby and Libby back on February the 13th of 2017. We'll have complete coverage of this. We will break this all down for you, not only throughout the day here on RTV6, but we'll have also more information on the RTV6 app and our website, theindychannel.com. Live coverage begins tonight on the News at 5. We are live in Delphi. Rafael Sanchez, Meredith, now back to you.
Rafael, thank you. We want to take a turn now. It is a beautiful day outside. Our Todd Clausen is standing by with a look at just how high temps are going to get today.
Yeah, temperatures already into the 60s.